We will start the course in 2 minutes. Good evening. Welcome to the course Multimodal Urban Transportation Systems. The instructor for this course is Professor Orkopal Goswami, and I am Shankhadeep Pramanik, research scholar from IIT Kharagpur. In these live sessions, actually, we will discuss first about the concept, what has been taught in the lectures, and if any doubts the students have, then they can also ask in this doubt clearing session. And also there is a discussion forum in the Swayam portal. Then there people can mm, post their queries, and we will also try to cover these queries from the discussion forum. And in these live sessions, we will also discuss about different question answers, which will be beneficial for solving the assignment as well as for the examination purpose. So in this session, this is the first live interaction session for week 1, and now we will first cover what has been taught in these lectures in this first week. Then we will proceed to the question answers, um, and discuss about them. So in the first module, we have discussed about the overview of urban transportation systems. First, we discussed about the urbanization and transportation, that how these two are related. That mm, uh, country is rapidly growing. With this rapid growing, the uh, mm, cities are, the more and more people are coming from the village to the cities, and this creates a lot of urbanization in a very rapid rate. And because of this rapid urbanization, the travel demand is also increasing for peoples. And uh, we also discuss that how this spatial growth is changing from different cities, and how the number of million plus cities are emerging at a faster rate. Then we also discussed about how this urbanization negatively affect the poverty, and how they are related. We also discussed about the motorization, that the motorized vehicles are increasing, and especially after this COVID, share of the two wheelers are increasing rapidly, because the middle upper class may have the car or motorbike. The affordability of the car or motorbike is very high, so as a result they want to purchase their own vehicle. So this has increased the motorization in the cities. So then we have discussed about the key issues for the urban transportation. One of the main key issue is that traffic crashes, as the people in the urban area is rapidly increasing, so they are very vulnerable to the high speed traffic, and the roadside furnitures like footpath and all are not yet properly fully developed, or there are some deficiencies in major Indian cities in India. And as these cities are especially the old cities have this problem that there is no specifically pattern of growth, so the cities are not planned properly. Because of that, the crashes occurred, and interaction between high speed vehicles and pedestrians are frequently occur in urban roads, which is one of the major concern uh, related to road safety issues. Not only the road, but unsafe driving behavior or unsafe vehicle also contributes to these safety issues very much. And then environmental pollution is also one of the main issue with the rapid increase in urban transportation. The congestion level increases, and because the road space is limited for people, therefore as these road space are limited in especially older cities, the congestion is one of the main problem in these areas, and which negatively affect the environment. Also the travel time gets hampered because of this congestion. Then we also talked about equity, that although with rapid urbanization, metro connectivity and other services, the richer population gets the major benefit, but the poor people are facing lot of difficulties. And the roadway, because of the expansion of the roadway, and the vehicles are there are a lot of vehicles, so it is sometimes becomes unsafe for pedestrians or bicyclists to go to move in these roads. And because pedestrians and bicyclists are mainly used by the not very richer community, so there is a problem of this equity. So these are the key issues faced in urban transportation. Then we discussed about the challenges in urban transportation. There are legal challenges, there are different fragmented institutional framework. Hello, we are first giving a brief recap of the what has been taught in the lectures, then we will proceed to the question answers. So as I was discussing that there are different challenges related to uh, absence of data and also if we want to design a better bus facilities, then different agencies might have different data, like bus agencies may have travel time data or ticketing data, then whether how the weather is affecting this service, then that weather data may be with some other agencies. So uh, these problems are uh, there, and there is not any specific framework that all the datas are available at a particular space. So these problems actually hampered the urban transportation very much. And also the building standards or IRC, there is no such not very much developed framework is there for the urban transportation, which is also a hindrance for developing a good urban transportation network. Then we have discussed about the travel demand modeling. uh, in travel demand modeling, the four stage demand modeling is very much popular, where we generally collect the household data or different data, the socio we capture the socio-economic characteristics of the trip maker, how for to get the demand, how a service will perform, or how a service will be demanded among different people. So in that four stage model, we discussed about the briefly discussed about the trip generation, trip distribution, modal split, and trip assignment, which are the main four steps of this model. Then we have also discussed that how different types of surveys are needed for this four stage modeling, and how they are useful for developing different models to understand what is the travel demand of different facilities. Then we have moved to vehicular level of service, which is how we can say that our facility is providing satisfactory result to the from the traveler's perspective, and we generally quantify this level of service into different categories from A to F, A being the best and F being the worst in scale. Then we have also discussed about basic terminologies like flow, density, space mean speed, capacity, which are very much essential to know or to calculate the level of service of any facility. It may be a multi-lane highway, or it may be a signalized intersection, but there are some basic steps which are involved in estimating the level of service of all these facilities. So with this, we have completed the week 1 lectures. Now I will move to the question answers. The first question is: increase in motorization in India is a result of low density development around Indian cities, unsatisfactory public transport service, slow, overcrowded, undependable, dangerous. Third is rising income among the Indian middle and upper classes, and fourth is all the above option. So this is the first question. You can post the answer in the chat box. This is the first question. You can post the answer in the chat box. So it is saying that increase in motorization in India is a result of low density development around Indian cities, then mm, then unsatisfactory public transport service, low, overcrowded, or undependable and dangerous. This is also true. Then rising income among Indian upper middle class. This is also true. So all the above options are correct here. We discussed it in this slide that the low density development around the Indian cities has made cars and motorcycle increasingly necessary to get around, especially given the unsatisfactory alternative of slow, overcrowded, undependable, and dangerous public transport service, and also the rising income among Indian middle and upper middle classes. have made car and motorcycle ownership increasingly affordable. So because of these reasons, the motorization is in increase in motorization is happening in Indian cities. So all the four options are correct here. Next is identify the true statement from the following. Rapid growth of urban areas can be attributed to a natural increase in population, that is the excess of birth over deaths. And the second statement is rapid growth of urban areas can be attributed to migration to urban areas. Option A, both 1 and 2 are true. 1 is true or 2 is and 2 is false. Third is 1 is false and 2 is true, and last is both 1 and 2 are false. So we have discussed that world is getting urbanized rapidly, and this rapid growth of urban areas can be attributed to two factors. One is natural increase in population, that the birth is and today the medical facility is also very good. So the rate of birth is more than the death rate. Therefore there is a natural increase in population, which is which is very much contributing factor to the rapid growth of urban areas. And also the migration to urban areas, because urban area the mainly jobs and other good education centers, or the the different uh, mm, different like employment opportunities are very much present in these urban areas. Therefore people are from the rural areas, people are more and more migrating for maybe for education, maybe for job, to the urban areas, which is also one of the major contributor to the rapid growth of urban areas. So option 1, that rapid growth of urban areas can be attributed to a natural increase in population, this is true. And rapid growth of urban areas can be attributed to migration to urban areas, this is also true. So both 1 and 2 option is correct. Next is, which of the following statements is true? Indian cities have mixed land use structure with substantial informal settlements. B is one specific feature of Indian urbanization in metropolitanization. And third is urban transport infrastructure constituting the skeleton of the urban form. Today, more people live in rural areas than in cities globally. You need to find out which of the statements are true. So we have discussed this in the slides, that the spatial growth, that is the more and more people are coming to the urban area. So the growth of the number of urban cities are actually increasing rapidly. From 2011 only 35 cities were there, and the number of metropolitan cities, and in 2011 that rose to 50 according to the census of India. And the distribution of urban population by city size widely varied and is skewed towards larger cities. One specific feature of this Indian urbanization is metropolitanization. And also we know that Indian cities have a mixed land use structure with substantial informal settlements where 15 to 60% of the population is living in slums, so it is purely a mixed land use type. So Indian cities have mixed land use structure and with substantial informal settlements, this is true. One specific feature of the Indian urbanization is metropolitanization, this is also true. Then urban transport infrastructure constituting the skeleton of urban form, this is also true. And next is today more people live in rural area than in cities. This may not be the correct answer because although the cities are uh, um, um, growing, but the statement is not true as of now. So option A, option B, and option C is the correct answer here. So more and more people are actually shifting to the cities. So the cities are rapidly the number population of the cities are increasing. Therefore, this statement is false. The occurrence of road crash depends on unsafe behavior of driving behavior, unsafe vehicles, inadequate road design, and all of the above. So we know that there are three primary reasons for road crash. The road, which is inadequate road design or quality, often uh, unpaved or bad, or which are the roads which are under construction are a major contributor to the crashes. And also the road furnitures, like in India what happens sometimes that roads are widened, but the proper pedestrian facility or proper crossing facilities at the intersection, or different road furnitures, marking, signages are not properly provided. As a result, the traffic crashes happen, and especially in urban areas, the pedestrian number of pedestrian is very high in the intersection or in different bus stop locations. The number of pedestrian is very high. So with and therefore they have some interaction with the high speed traffic, and which leads to fatality. Therefore, the road is one of the major mm, a factor for traffic crashes. Then the driver, that the unsafe driving behavior, sometimes driving in the presence of alcohol, or like distracted driving, or driving at a speed which is higher than the prescribed level of the road. These things actually are the driver related factors that often a reason for the crash. Then the vehicle, different vehicle is one of the mm, contributor in some cases, like the poor maintenance or unsafe design, or different mechanical failure of the vehicle. These can lead to some crashes. Also the nowadays the rating, there is safety ratings of different vehicles, but sometimes it is not followed properly, or people are giving more importance to the price than the safety. So which eventually, because of the vehicle, there may be a potential of road crash. Therefore, this unsafe driving behavior unsafe vehicle, and inadequate road design. These all three, uh, on all these three, the road crash maybe depends. So option D will be the correct answer here. Moving to the next question. Vehicular emission do not depend on vehicle speed, age of vehicle, weather, vehicle kilometer. So while discussing about the key issues in urban transportation, we have discussed that environmental pollution is sorry, one of the major problem in Indian cities, and it sometimes because of the congestion and other reason vehicle maintenance, these all are a contributing factor to environmental pollution, and the air pollution from the transport sector is one of the most highest. As you can see that 24% of the environmental problem pollution is from transport, and it is in 2001. So after that, the rapid development in roads and vehicle facilities, and because of the need for the travel, they are this value may be more higher. And also this vehicular emission depends on vehicle speed. As the vehicle speed increases, the emission also increases, and at a lower speed, if we plot the emission and speed data, then at lower speed the emission is high. If this axis is emission, at a lower speed the emission is high, and at higher speed also the environmental pollution or these emissions are also high. There exists a threshold where at a optimum level, the what the speed of the vehicle, at that speed of the vehicle, the emission is lowest. It is generally around 50 kilometer per hour, or in different context it is different, but there exists a certain threshold where the environmental pollution is the lowest. Then vehicle kilometer, this is also one of the major factor for vehicular emission. Then age of the vehicle is one of the major factor. Nowadays the BS1, BS2 to nowadays the BS6 is also there. So different environmental pollution norms are there, and vehicles are complying with those norms. So and emission rate is also one of the factors that the vehicle emission depends on. So here it is saying that vehicular emission do not depend on, it depends on vehicular speed, it depends on age of the vehicle, it depends on vehicle kilometer, but it is not directly depend on weather. So weather is the correct answer here. Next is, consider the following graph and identify the statement that is not true. This is the graph. First statement is the largest number of trips are being made using buses. Pedestrians have the highest fatalities among all modes. Third is riding a bicycle is safer than traveling on a bus. Motorcycle and pedestrians are the most vulnerable modes in terms of number of fatalities. These all you have to answer based on this figure. As you can see in this figure, and this is the trips, and this one is the fatalities. This black color is fatalities and this white color is trips. So the largest number of trips are being made using buses. As you can see, this trip is higher than this one, this one, this one, and this one. So this statement is true. And in the question, it is asked that which of the statement is not true. So the option B is pedestrians have the highest fatalities among all the modes. So pedestrian, you can see that pedestrian have the highest fatalities here. This is the graph of fatalities, and it is quite higher than the bicycle, motorcycle, bus, and car. So this one is also true. Then riding a bicycle is safer than traveling on a bus. Riding a bicycle is safer. We will only say this, that riding a bicycle is safer when the number of fatality is less than the bus, traveling on a bus. So you can see that bus and bicycle, if you compare that, the trips in the bus is high and the fatalities is only this much. But if you see the bicycle, the trips are very low, like it is almost 42 around trips, but here bicycle there are only 5 trips maybe, but the fatality is quite high. So this statement is false. The bicycle is more dangerous for riding than the bus. And fourth one is motorcycle and pedestrian are the most vulnerable modes in terms of number of fatalities. So motorcycle, the fatality you can see that higher than this bicycle, taxi, bus, but pedestrian fatality is higher than even motorcycle mode. So motorcycle and pedestrians are the most vulnerable modes in terms of number of fatalities. This is also true. So option C is the correct answer here, that it is the wrong statement. Question 7. Which agency is responsible for issuing driving license in India? RTO, IUT, IRC, Planning Commission. RTO is Regional Transport Officials. IUT is Institute of Urban Transport. IRC is Indian Roads Congress, and last is Planning Commission. So RTO is the correct answer here. That RTO mainly issue the driving license in different regions in India. Which of the following issues is covered under an act in Indian legislation? Multimodal integration, metro railways, urban transport planning, integrated land use. These are the 4 options. So in Indian legislation, this Delhi Metro Railway Operation and Maintenance Act, passed in 2002, provides for operation and maintenance and to regulate the working of the metro railway in metropolitan city of Delhi. In Kolkata also, metro had enhanced a similar act enacted a similar act for operation and maintenance of Kolkata Metro as an adjacent to Indian Railway Act. And apart from this, there is a Metro Railway Construction of Works Act in 1978 and Tramways Act in 1886, which affect the metros in urban area. So option B will be the correct answer here. Next is, what is the provisions made under Delhi Metro Railway Operation and Maintenance Act 2002? As we discussed that it provides for the operation and maintenance. This is true, and regulate the working of metro railway in metropolitan city of Delhi. This is also true here. So option C will be the correct answer here. According to 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution, urban development, which includes urban transport, is in the dash list, union list, state list, concurrent list, means it is included in both the list and none of the above. So while discussing about the institutional framework, we have discussed that this according to 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution, urban development is included in state list. This also includes the urban transportation in this list. So it is option B will be the correct answer, that state is the responsible for this urban development and uh, development of this urban transportation. Next question, what does the red line represents in this graph above? This one, demand, supply, surplus, subsidy. We have discussed about this supply and demand curve, that if the this side is volume and this side is the cost. When the volume increase, the supply increases, then the volume also increases, and this will have a higher cost. Again, when the demand decreases, then at a higher volume there the cost will be less. So these two are the supply and demand curve, and there is a equilibrium where these two intersect. So here it is talked about this red line. So it is basically the supply. Next is, in which type of model of variables, parameters and equations are used to represent complex relations? In which type of model of variables, parameters and equations are used to represent complex relation? physical model, symbolic model, mathematical model of all the above or all the above. In modeling could be physical or symbolic or mathematical. In physical model, one would make the physical representation of a reality. Like suppose there is a physical thing, and uh, people will make a representation of the reality in a model. Then there is symbolic model, which with the complex relation could be the represented with help of different symbols. It can be represented. And then comes mathematical model, which is most common type, when with the help of variable parameter equation one could represent the highly complex relation. And this is mainly used in different works of this urban transportation planning. So this option C will be the correct answer here. Then which of the stage in four stage modeling estimates the total number of trips generated and attracted by each zone? Trip assignment, modal split, trip generation, trip distribution. These are the four options. To understand about the demand of the different modes, the four stage model is very much popular. The trip generation data is used to estimate the total number of trips generated and attracted by each zone. Then trip distribution is model is used to allocate these trips in different zones. Then third, how this trip will which mode of mainly the people will prefer, that is done through modal split stage. And finally, in which route the different mode of travel will more mode of vehicle will travel, that is done in the trip assignment part. So the total number of trips generated and attracted by each zone is done in the trip generation process. Then comes the trip distribution, then modal split, then trip assignment. What are the factors that affect quality of service? Travel time and its reliability, speed delay, comfort, convenience, safety, user cost, availability of information about service, facility, aesthetics, etc., and all the above. So, quality of service describes how well a transportation facility of service operation operators from operates from travelers perspective, that how well a facility is operating from travelers perspective. Now this influenced by different factors like travel time, that how, like if you consider a bus service, then or a particular road, then what is the travel time, and how is the reliability of that service, whether the bus is coming every day at a particular time or it is deviating from its schedule, how is the speed, whether it delayed every day or not, Then there comes comfort, convenience, safety, user cost. That it should be the user should be comfortable enough to sit or stand. Some people may prefer to comfortable seat. There for them, comfort means sitting, getting a seat in the bus, or for some people it may be a getting a comfortable standing position in the bus. Then there may be different safety issues, that also a quality of service. Then the cost is also another factor, that a facility might be giving very much reliable travel time and at a good speed without any delay, but the cost may be very high. So in that case the quality of service may not be that high. And also availability of the information about the service, that if suppose a person miss the first bus, then after how long he will get the second bus, or where is the what the bus second bus is right now. This availability of the information at different bus stops or metro stations or train stations will increase the quality of the service. And also the facility aesthetics plays a role while in the quality of determination of quality of service. So all these options are correct here, that all these are the factors that affect the quality of service. Next is degree of saturation is the ratio of flow to speed, flow to distance, flow to capacity, and none of the above. So we know that degree of saturation is the ratio of flow to capacity. So option C is the correct answer here. Next is, what does this H represents in the following graph? This one, time headway, space headway, queue length, or speed. While discussing about different basics of traffic flow, we discussed that in the distance and time graph, this one line to another line is the time headway, and this distance is the space headway. That is the time difference between two vehicles passing a particular point, and this is the distance between successive two vehicles. So this represent by this D and this represent by this H, that after how much time the second one is there between two successive vehicles. So the correct answer will be time headway. Which level of service is generally signifies the worst condition? A, C, E, F. This we discussed already, that this is generally the best condition, and this is generally the worst. Generally we classify this level of service between A to F. So F is the correct answer here. Next is, calculate the demand flow rate under equivalent base conditions. Demand volume under prevailing condition is 2000 vehicle per hour. Peak hour factor is given 0.92. Number of lane is 2. Assume drivers are familiar with the road conditions, and adjustment for heavy vehicle is 0.952. So you can calculate it. So while calculating the flow rate, we have discussed that uh, demand flow rate under equivalent base condition is the demand volume under prevailing condition, then peak hour factor, number of lanes in analysis direction, adjustment factor for unfamiliar driver, and the presence of heavy vehicle in the stream. So if you calculate that demand volume under prevailing condition is given 2000, then peak hour factor is given as 0.92, number of lane is 2, and heavy vehicle adjustment factor is 0.952. So it will come as 1142. So these are the answers, and the recorded session will also be available in the link, YouTube link that will be shared later to you, and you can check that later also. And if you have any doubt, you can post in the discussion forum. We will try to address in that in these live sessions. That's all. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Sorry, I just. Can you unmute, please? Hello. Can you unmute, please? Am I audible? Hello. We have discussed about the question answers in this session, and the recorded video will be also available, and it will be shared to you after the class. And if you have any doubt, specific doubt regarding this week one, you can ask that. Otherwise, we have covered these questions, and you can answer these questions. There are actually 18 questions we have discussed in this session, and if you want, we can run or run the 18 questions, or we can also, you can also later see the video, and if you have any doubt, then you can ask.